Welcome back to Math Concepts. We are continuing the basics of logic. So we've talked about, I guess it was 5 operations that we can do with statements. We have negation. So if I give you a statement, you can do its negation. We have and, we have or, we have if-then, the conditional, and then we have the biconditional, or if and only if. So for those last 4, you actually need 2 statements, and you can make a new statement using those operations. So I want to talk a little bit more about the operation of negation, because it can work a little bit differently than you might think in some circumstances. So we're going to switch over to the document camera and talk about negations of quantified statements. Okay, so what I want you to get out of this video is to be able to take a quantified statement and write out the negation of that statement. Now, in this context, a quantified statement is one that involves all, none, or some. Okay, so let's just do a quick example. Let's say I make the statement, all students in this class are freshmen. Okay, so remember, a statement has a definite true or false value. Now this one happens to be false. I looked at our roster and there's a mix of freshmen and sophomores and juniors and seniors. Okay, so you might be tempted to say, okay, well, the statement says all students in the class are freshmen, so maybe this is the negation. Maybe the negation is none of the students in this class are freshmen. Okay, now I understand why people might think that's the negation, but it actually can't be true. Okay, because remember, whatever truth value a statement has, its negation has to have the opposite truth value. Okay, now I just told you this statement is false because we have a mix of students. We have all classes, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So this statement is also false. This statement is false. This statement is false. So what I have down here cannot be the negation. Okay, so I'm going to have to change it. And if I just kind of erase what I've got there, this is the correct negation. Okay, the negation is some of the students in this class are not freshmen. Okay, some of the students in this class are not freshmen. Right, so whenever you have a quantified statement that involves all, and you talk about the negation, I know it's tempting to switch all with none, but that's not the way it works. All has to be changed to some when you do a negation. Okay, and notice you also kind of negate the second half over here too. Okay, all students are freshmen. Some students are not freshmen. Let's look at a couple more examples. Okay, so we're wanting to write the negation of each of the quantified statements. All bears are brown. Okay. The negation. Some bears are not brown. Okay, remember, negating a statement with all leads to a statement that involves some. Okay, remember, all bears are brown. We know that's false because there are black bears and there are polar bears that are white. So to say no bears are brown, well, that would also be false. Some bears are not brown. That's the correct negation. It has the opposite truth value. No smartphones are expensive. The negation. Some smartphones are not expensive. Okay, so this would basically, it's like a statement that involves none. Okay, down here, some vegetables are not green. Okay, so the negation. All vegetables are green. Okay, so if you negate something that involves all or none, then you get some. If you negate something that involves some, then you get all. And remember, you also have to deal with the kind of second part of the statement. So you have to change the quantifier. If you start with a statement that involves all, and you're talking about the negation, you go to some. All bears are brown. Some bears are not brown. Okay? So that is the correct way to negate a quantified statement.